Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, a whole food, plant-based culinary coach, and a master herbalist. And I'm here with Dan, an exercise specialist and wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So, this week we are talking about a loaded subject. As a matter of fact, it may have to be a two-episode podcast because it is so loaded. But we are going to be talking about testosterone.
Oh yeah, that's a big topic. You hear about it all the time now if you are in the health space.
Yes, and we think of it as being a male hormone, but it's essential for men and women. And I work in the functional medicine world where we'll look at Dutch tests and things like that. And it's very important for us to look and see where is testosterone. You may even have had your regular doctor in the conventional world test your testosterone for males and females. In men, testosterone supports muscle mass and strength, also in women. Bone density, libido, also in women. Energy, motivation, and in mood. And so we have to think about it not as a male hormone, but it's for both. If for libido, that is important for everyone, for muscle tone, and for our bones. And as we get older, we need to make sure we're maintaining testosterone, and we don't necessarily want to go into adding testosterone.
Yes, and if you look, they're showing that men from I think it was the 1940s, they had higher testosterone than men the same age today. And a lot of the problems they're seeing are related to our environment, the toxins again that we talk about all the time,
Hmm.
the food supply. We have a lot of endocrine disruptors now, like BPA, and a lot of people they'll say it's in your canned food, but it's also in some people's water supply, BPA.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about detoxification, it's not, it's the thing about detoxification. Some people say you don't have to do it because your kidneys and your liver don't need help. But that was, maybe 200 years ago, that might have been true.
Right.
But now we are bombarded. There's over 80,000 man-made chemicals in our environment, and we're subject to those chemicals every single minute of every single day.
Right, your liver's trying to clean all of those things out, and you can't get away from them. Chemicals in the water and the air. How do you get away from the chemicals in your air? Right? And then
Okay.
add it into food and the packagings and everything else. So if you just think about all the things you did this morning, wake up, brush your teeth, wash your face, maybe you got a shower, shampooed your hair, ate food that came out of the dishwasher from dish detergents, on those dishes that came out of the dishwasher. Anyway, how many chemicals have you already been exposed to since you got up? Toothpaste, shampoo, face cleanser, moisturizer, maybe wear makeup, maybe wear nail polish. They could just
Too
go.
many to count, and they actually suppress your hormone production. So this is one of the many things. So,
Yeah.
and we could talk about stress too, but
Yes. And
uh,
testosterone naturally declines as well. And it's one of those things that you don't really notice until it's low.
yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah, they say if you're over 40, your levels fall about 1% a year. That's for a man. I don't know if it's the
I
same
don't
in
know
women
for
probably
women
or
either, right? Yeah, I don't know. But I know that a lot of them, especially when they get to perimenopause and menopause, a lot of them, it really drops. Unless they have like PCOS, where it's actually high. And so that is another imbalance. And so imbalances are all related to the liver as well.
so like you're saying, you don't really notice it if you're a little younger than 50,
Hmm.
but they're showing that by the time you reach your 60s, you start to notice maybe you're a little weaker.
Hmm.
You don't have as much energy. You're gaining body fat even though you're trying to eat healthy. You
Right.
get tired around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to take a nap.
Yes.
And so and they're saying by the time you're in your late 70s and early 80s, your levels, this is a man, your level maybe around 200, which is very low. I mean, for a man.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad you brought up women because this affects women too. Because, women did talk about their estrogen, but their testosterone also affects them because it gives them, qualities. I mean, they don't have as much as men, but it also can lower their energy levels. And I have clients that are over 50 and they have a hard time losing fat,
And building.
even though they're trying to eat right.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're strength training and having trouble building their muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so things that can lead to lower testosterone, aging, but we hate to say aging because we all age differently, but chronic
Yeah.
stress. So when we're under a lot of stress, work stress, caring for others stress, um, duties at home, all those things, they can add up. Financial stress, those things can lower testosterone. If you add in poor sleep or sleep apnea, how many people do you know have trouble sleeping well through the night? That can lower testosterone. Eating poor quality foods. Hello, that's here, especially the SAD diet, standard American diet. It definitely leads to nutrient deficiencies. If you don't have the nutrients needed to detox hormones and keep the hormones in balance and or to build those hormones and carry the hormones, that can be a problem. Not exercising and not lifting the weights. Lifting the weights actually helps with testosterone. Um, Over exercising, running marathons, right? So those things can burn through testosterone. And then eating too low fat. And so for men, it's not as common as for women, but especially women my age, we were trained at an early age, even as early as 8, 9, 10 years old, eat less, exercise more.
Yes. And that's still a common thing. Even these experts will tell you,
Yeah.
but that's going to burn you out so fast. And it's going to give you the opposite of what you're trying to get. Like, you want to be skinny. Well, I mean, you have clients that are eating what? Very little.
Yeah.
And I have clients that are eating very little and they're still to have too much body fat
Yeah.
because it is true that if you undereat long term, your metabolism it drops to keep you alive because it's like, okay, we're not getting a lot of food, so I'm going to slow down the metabolism so I can live.
Yeah. It's a safety mechanism. Yeah. I have to
Yes.
stuff and store and hold on to this fat because we're going into starvation mode.
Yes, and thanks, because we were when we weren't raised, but our ancestors, that's how they lived, feast and famine, feast and famine. So the body is evolutionary because when you're where you're not getting a lot of food, the body holds on to your fat. And that's why I've had people 800 calories a day.
Yeah. That's common.
I'm like, what? 800 calories?
Yeah. That doesn't even help you run your body mechanisms if you're only eating
No.
100 calories a day. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I saw a study where if they show people that are crash dieting, some of the important bodily processes the body stops doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're unfueling. Yes. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
killing yourself basically.
Yeah. So talk about some signs of someone who has low testosterone.
Well, one thing is a lot of people don't think about is depression, and I think depression is common in men, middle-aged men, and a lot of people say, well, it's because middle-aged men have a lot on their plate, and we do,
Hmm.
but there's also hormonal declines during this, and it doesn't help you with all the responsibilities you have. So we have depression. We don't feel as energetic as we used to, and people say, well, you're just getting old.
Right.
Irritability.
Grumpy old man.
Grumpy old man. It's linked with depression too. Depression, people who are depressed, they show it in different ways, but one sign is irritability, like short-tempered and
Yeah. I say hurting people hurt.
yes,
Yeah. Somebody in pain or somebody, pain emotionally or physically, they're going to be more irritable.
that's true.
Yeah.
Of course, sex drive, libido, that goes down.
Hmm.
And look, in some men, they have erectile dysfunction. But I think it's important to know that even though testosterone affects erectile dysfunction, You also want to look at your cardiovascular function if you're having problems getting an erection, because that's the first sign of heart disease.
Yeah,
So,
first thing you need to check, go have your heart checked.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, and weight gain. Yeah, that and look, that is that's got to be the most frustrating thing because I know people that are having trouble gaining weight and they're not eating that much, and it's frustrating, you know?
right. Yeah. Hair loss, men
Oh
and
yeah.
women. Hair loss.
Yes.
Yeah, no, now
Yeah.
you can lose hair for other reasons too. It could be related to thyroid and adrenals. It could be related to those as well. But if you have an issue going on with the thyroid and the adrenals, then you're probably gonna have lower testosterone as well.
Sleep apnea. I didn't even know that sleep apnea was connected.
Yeah, yeah. And that's usually due to weight. So I don't remember who I was listening to. It could have been Dr. Furman, maybe. Anyway, or it might have been Dr. William Lee. Anyway, one of the first places that you gain weight when you gain weight is your tongue. And so your tongue gets fatter, and then if you're sleeping on your back, is causing a blockage, and so that leads to sleep
Wow.
apnea. Yeah,
Wow, that is I did not know that.
yeah, yeah,
And apparently, you hear that it seems like sleep apnea is pretty widespread now.
yeah. It's very common. Well, and if the U.S. is 93% metabolically unwell,
Yeah,
that's belly fat and swollen tongue, swollen liver.
yeah, it's all related.
All related, yes. And so you could have low testosterone, but some people with hormone imbalances end up with elevated testosterone, which can show up with lots of acne, excess face and body hair. And so it's more noticeable on women than on men. Mood swings, also hair loss, and so that's tricky. You lose hair because of low testosterone. You can lose hair because of too much testosterone, and irregular menstrual cycles if it's someone who's cycling. If those things are going on, go and have your testosterone checked. Or we'll talk about different ways to bring testosterone into balance without adding testosterone. I don't think either one of us agree that we need to be adding testosterone.
Well, yeah, and some of the reasons I believe that are true is that if you start injecting testosterone, your body stops making it completely, and your testicles will shrink. And they don't tell you if you're on it long enough, like say a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you decide I don't want to be on this anymore. Well, too bad because it's hard for your body to start producing it again. Now, there are some drugs they'll give you to try to help your body produce testosterone again. But a lot of guys will say, look, you've been on it so long, you have to stay on it. And so heart disease is one of my favorite things to talk about well, testosterone therapy increases your risk of heart attacks because it increases red blood cell production.
Mhm.
So this in turn makes your blood a lot thicker than it should be. So they tell you if you're getting testosterone replacement therapy, you have to give blood at least once a month, or you could to decrease your risk of having a heart attack.
That's crazy.
And they're giving it to men that are in the age range where heart attacks are more common anyway.
Yes. Yes.
So as natural health advocates,
Mhm.
I would do everything I could naturally first. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, this works. If you really get your lifestyle in check, you can definitely increase your testosterone levels naturally.
Yes. So let's talk about some of the herbs that are helpful for supporting testosterone.
Well, the first one, a lot of people have heard about this one is tribulus.
Uh-huh.
I even think GNC sells some of this.
Oh, I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
that. Mhm.
yeah, tribulus is always on the list. It helps. And see, the herbs work this way.
Mhm.
They don't have testosterone in them, but they encourage your body to produce more testosterone. That's how herbs work.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that one's on the list. along with ginseng. Ginseng is known as the energy tonic, and
right?
it's in Dr. Christopher's male hormone formula, and I think it's in the female formula too.
Mhm.
Ginseng.
Yeah. I know for me, my favorite's a Luthero,
Mm.
also known as Siberian ginseng. And so the ginsengs are all are really, they're known for endurance, but they're also known as adaptogens. And so,
Yes.
we lose testosterone under chronic stress conditions. Adaptogens help us to adapt better to our stressors. Of course, we have
Yes.
to do lifestyle factors, remove the things that are causing those stressors that we can remove. But adding in something like a Luthero can help support the body to produce its own testosterone as well as enhancing strength and endurance as well.
And while we're talking about herbs that help as adaptogens, oh my God, I just had it in my brain. Rhodiola, rhodiola.
Mhm.
That's another one that helps you recover from stress. And we're talking about a lot of stress. And if you're training with weights, because that's stressful, it helps you recover and it lowers your cortisol, which is another factor. If we're stressed out a lot, our cortisol goes up
Right.
and it suppresses everything. It suppresses your hormone production.
Yeah.
It increases your blood pressure, your blood sugar. It makes you gain more fat. So we want to make sure we're keeping our cortisol in check. And some of these herbs can help with that.
Yeah. I love that you said that. Another one that is my go-to for testosterone balance is nettle. And it's also one that I use for pretty much anything I need to bring back in balance. Nettle is one of the richest sources of minerals, and we need minerals for energy. We need minerals for all of our hormones. We need minerals for everything. And so I love nettle. But nettle root is even more common to help with balancing testosterone and supporting men's health and prostate health as well. And so I look at it more as a tonic. It provides nutrients that we need more than like a quote unquote medicine.
Yes, that one, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I heard it can help with hair loss, and man, I don't
I
know.
have too. Yeah,
There,
it's like a hair rinse. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
we're always looking for that. I'm trying to keep the hair that I have, and that's that's one of the things that can be difficult.
Yes. Before we keep going, we did not give a medical disclaimer. We are not your one-on-one healthcare provider unless we are, and we'll meet in private if we are. So this is for educational purposes only. We are not telling you to go out and use these herbs. We are just teaching about these. You do your own due diligence and decide whether or not they are right for you.
Another one that is really good, and there are studies behind it, is ashwagandha. It's also an adaptogen,
Mhm.
but I have seen studies where it actually will increase men's testosterone on a blood test after a few weeks. And people that work out, they notice that they get stronger faster taking it. I haven't tried it personally,
Uh-huh.
but I've seen studies where it really helps the guys in the studies. And it
Wow.
also helps lower cortisol, like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's a wonderful adaptogen, but I never heard of it being related that closely tied to testosterone.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones for balancing hormones in men and women is maca. So
Mm.
maca root, maca supports stamina, mood, balancing hormones. It's very common in women's formulas for preteens and teens, but also for perimenopause. It's just wonderful. It was used by warriors, back in ancient times. It was known to be used for stamina mostly back then, but it is wonderful, full of nutrients as well.
It was funny. One herb that came to mind, Dr. Christopher talked about was red raspberry.
Oh yeah.
And men and women can both use it, even though it seems to be more of a woman's herb.
Hmm.
But both men and women can use it for healthy hormone production. And it tastes really good. The tea is really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've always liked that too. It's in lots of formulas for men and women, and even those trying to get pregnant and stuff like that. And so, really balancing hormones. We're going to need to wrap it up. Let's give a
Uh,
few lifestyle factors that can help with testosterone.
Well, the first thing, I mean, you have to look at your sleep. It is so important for everything. You could be doing all the right things while you're awake, but if you're not sleeping, none of those things are going to work as well.
Yeah, hormones, blood sugar are going to be a wreck. You're not going to recover. Even if you are strength training, you're not going to have those repair mechanisms going on to help building muscle. Yes, I love that you said that. So, number one, definitely sleep.
And if you're having trouble sleeping, then that's another video, another podcast, but there's herbs
Yes,
and things. But another one is you have to make sure you're eating a healthy diet. When I say healthy diet, I'm talking about a diet that is full with vitamins and minerals. Your body has to have a constant supply of vitamins and minerals to even produce hormones.
yes, yeah. We can't produce them if you're not giving it the nutrients it needs, the building blocks.
Exactly.
Yes. And then your favorite.
Oh yeah, strength training. There is plenty of science showing that, and I'm going to say heavy strength training, but heavy is relative to you. But the
Yeah.
compound exercises, your squats, your bench presses,
Mhm.
your deadlifts, things like that, they build more testosterone. The body, it makes the body produce more testosterone.
Yes.
And I've been working out since I was 17. I'm now almost 48. And I can tell you, I'm so much better off than other guys my age because I've done this for so long. I mean, I'm still strong and healthy and have a lot of muscle. And but it's never too late. If you're an older guy right now, starting a weight training routine will help your hormones. It will help your bones. It would help your motivation, your oh God, what was the word I was thinking of? Motivation and self-confidence, which is
Yeah.
important throughout the life, you know.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Yeah, so strength training is definitely a key. Yeah, and there's probably more we could add as well, but we need to wrap it up for today. So testosterone is not just a male hormone, and it's not just about youth. It's something that we need to support our muscles and our bones and longevity. So it's so important to eat the healthy foods, get the quality sleep, the things that we talk about week after week after week, but then we can use herbs and things to support those systems as well. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone that you know and love and would like to learn this information or needs to learn this information. If you don't agree with something or have other tips for us, please comment. We love to hear from you. You can find out more about Dan at danthenaturalman.com, and you can find out more about me at holisticgen.com. That is with a W. I spell holistic with a WH. Anyway, we will see you again next week. Thanks for listening.